Good evening, I'm Dan Wall.
And I'm Laura Lee. Thanks for joining us. Duluth City Council has been focused on bringing several housing projects to the area recently, including Hawk Ridge.
However, a recent proposal to change the zoning in that neighborhood to give new developers more options has raised concerns from those living there. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp was at the council meeting tonight where longtime residents are saying, not in my backyard.
Those who live in Hawk Ridge neighborhood, like Mark Yalick, enjoy its quiet charms.
Our tagline is a community in nature.
But Yalick is worried that charm may disappear once the new Bald Eagle Estate project starts.
We think this is all inappropriate for this environmentally sensitive area.
The property in question is nestled between two homes on a cul-de-sac. It's currently zoned under R1 or low-density residential. Now the council is proposing to change it to RP or residential planned as it's called to provide the developer a bit more flexibility for design.
That gives them essentially a free pass to develop it as they see fit.
His concern echoed by neighbors Monday night as they addressed the city council. While Councilor Lynn Marie Nephew understands their concerns, she says that's not necessarily true. Nephew says rezoning with RP guidelines does open up the possibilities for a developer to build things like an RV lot and vacation rentals, but she reassures that the council and planning commission must approve the plans first.
So that will include use, height, density, and the plan kind of gets locked into that development as well.
The council did not move to vote on the amendment during the meeting Monday night, but say they will continue to do their research and work with the community and developer to find a solution that meets all invested parties.
But we do need to encourage development, so it's about balancing the other things and looking at what could be versus what's before us.
Neighbors of Hawk Ridge say they understand the future includes new housing, but they want to keep their neighborhood the same. In Duluth, Cara Kopp, Northern News Now.
And the council still needs to review the ordinance before putting it to a vote. The community can expect a decision by next month.